You can see it's about as tall as me. This one took me about 4 hours to make. Hello, it's Shandy from expressionfiberarts.com, and I'm so excited because today we're gonna be making a giant boho wall hanging. So now that you've seen the big one, what I'm gonna do is show you how to make a smaller one and walk you through the supplies you're gonna need, the steps you'll take, and all the different techniques that I use to make that big one. So first thing, you need a twig or a stick of some sort. I just went out in my backyard and got this twig. And then you're gonna need scissors so you can cut your yarn, and then you're gonna need some yarn. Today for the demonstration, I'm using our Dewy DK yarn in color Perfect Storm. Now, the reason that I really recommend you use some kind of wool or other natural fiber, you can use animal-based like wool, alpaca, silk, or you can use plant-based if you have cotton, linen, or hemp, is because when you get to the end, if your wall hanging has crinkly, if your yarn's all crinkly and not laying straight, if you have a natural fiber, you can wet it and hang it and it will all straighten out and look nice and straight and smooth and professional. So if you can get a natural fiber, that's best. If you can't, feel free to use what you have. If you're using yarn from the craft store or just any type of yarn that comes in a ball, what you're gonna do is pull up strands of yarn that are twice the length that you want the length of your wall hanging to be, because they're actually gonna be looped over the twig and tied onto your twig. Our yarn comes in hanks or skeins like this, which makes it super simple just to cut one of the ends and boom, you automatically have lengths of yarn cut, and that will save you so much time. I think I like the dark blue all together, and I want that to be hanging at the bottom. So I'm gonna cut down here at this end and then leave this section as is. Now we cut. Just cut straight through all the strands. So now we have these long, luscious strands of yarn already cut the same length, easy peasy, and we're ready to start tying them onto our twig. I'm gonna go ahead and grab 3 together, and you just wanna separate them out from the rest of the yarn, make sure nothing's getting tangled, because this could end up real tangly real quick. And just keep it folded in half because we're gonna use this loop. Tie the loops onto your stick. You're going to place your yarn under, wrap it over, open up that loop, and pull all the strands through. And then just cinch it up nice and tightly, keeping in mind that this is the back and this is the front. Okie doke, I'm gonna show you then how to do just one strand. It's the same thing. Pull it out, keep it doubled, slide it under, wrap it over, pull it apart, and then pull all the strands through. And that creates a smaller little knot.
Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.
And done. Here's what you get when you've got all of your yarn onto your twig. Remember to save a little bit because you're gonna need to be able to put a tie on it so you can actually hang it up. And here's the look we've got. Don't worry about the ends right now, we're gonna fix them up later. So now I'm gonna show you some techniques that you can do some braids and ropes and beading and other things. First of all, we're gonna start with a really easy technique. We're just gonna make some knots. So pull up the strand that you want and you literally just make a knot. Definitely keep your knots really loose. Don't tighten them up at this point because you might not like them, or you might want to make a symmetrical one over here and you'll need to adjust them. So just keep all of your knots really loose. You can do one per strand, you can do another one up here. Again, there really just aren't any rules. It's whatever you like. So now I'm going to take 3 of these center ones and do a braid. And this is really cool, especially if you have different colors. You can mingle different colors together. It's just like braiding hair. Again, I really recommend keeping everything loose. You can always tighten later, but it's easiest just to start loosely. Be careful to avoid tangles at the bottom. Yarn just loves to get tangled, but we don't love it when that happens. Ooh, look at the colors are changing. Work your way down as far as you want, and then to secure it, just tie a knot. So I just hold all the strands together and just tie a knot, keeping it loose. Now we're going to do a twist. So I'm going to take half of this clump and half of this one, so just move those out of the way. Now start with one and just begin to twist. Now this you do want to do pretty tightly, tighter than you think, because it'll loosen up here in a minute. Let's get it all nice and twisty. This is going towards the left, which is important. Okay, that's pretty good. Once it starts to curl up on itself like that, you're good. And then you want to hold that. You can set something on it or you can just hold it. And we're going to do the exact same thing with this strand. So twist, again going towards the left, just so you're going in the same direction as you went on the first twist. You will be good. And you want to get it about the same twisted amount. All right, now that you have your two twists, we're going to wrap them the opposite way. So we twisted them left, we're going to wrap them around each other the opposite direction. Remember to keep those ends, don't let them untwist. And keep wrapping them around each other until they seem to be balanced, till the twist is looking good. And when you get to the bottom, you're just going to tie a knot to secure. Like so, and voila, you have a twist. Now we're going to use these 3 knots. So I'm going to take this entire middle clump and 2 strands from the neighboring one, 2 strands from this neighboring one. Now these I'm just going to wrap and cross around this big one. So wrap like that, go under, twist them on the back side, cross them over the front, cross them under the back, cross them over the front, cross them under the back, and then just tie a knot. So this one, the strands are pretty straight, so it looks fine. We don't need to wet it or try to get the strands to straighten out. But on the big one, since I had the yarn in balls, the yarn was a little crinkly. So if that happens to you, you want to just wet your yarn. I just put a bowl of water under it and squished it up. Let it hang overnight or 2 days, however long it takes to dry, and it'll smooth out and the strands will be pretty. If you've made this for a gift and you're in a hurry, you can always steam it with your iron, being really careful, and that'll help work the kinks out as well. When you're all done and you like the way that it looks, you're going to notice that the bottom strands are all wiggle-niggle and going everywhere. So you can leave it that way if you love it, or you can cut it to make it look more crisp and intentional. Since the braid made the middle part come up, I think I'm going to do a reverse V, like a dovetail, but you can cut any shape that you want, really. Make sure to use sharp scissors. All right. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Just keep working on it till you get a look that you like. Fabulous! Now that leftover yarn that you saved from before, we're gonna use that to make a tie so that you can hang this little sucker on the wall. So what you wanna do first is determine the length that you want, and I think I'm gonna cut this in half because that would just be too big. You wanna tie a knot, just a simple double knot. I'm using 3 strands held together to make sure it's nice and sturdy. And then do the same thing on the other side. Here's the finished version of this smaller one. These are so fast. I made this in about 30 minutes. So if you need a last minute gift, these are excellent. You can also spend your time and make that big giant one like I did if you want. Keep in mind there are no rules. If you want to just tie the yarn on and let it hang, you can. The options are endless. You can put beads on them or feathers or just anything. So just let your imagination go wild and do your thing. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you love this tutorial. Please let me know in the comments what other tutorials you want to see so I can get those going for you. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any future episodes. If you would like to stay in touch with me, please go to expressionfiberarts.com and sign up for my email newsletter because I give away free knit and crochet patterns, coupons to my shop, and I'll let you know when we have our big monthly yarn giveaways. If you want to go ahead and immediately get signed up for our current big monthly yarn giveaway, you can head straight to blog.expressionfiberarts.com and get signed up to that. Good luck. I hope you win. Have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye. Here's the big one. You can see it's about as tall as me. This one took me about 4 hours to make, mainly because I was being really intentional. I wanted everything symmetrical, and cutting all these long strands took a while. And the bottom, I cut into a V. If you are going to cut your bottom in a V like this one, you want to make sure that your shorter strands are on the outside and you have longer strands in the center. For those that will ask, this yarn is my luster worsted. It's a blend of half wool, half tencel, so you can wet it at the end if your strands are crinkly, and it'll straighten all out since it is has that natural wool in there. This color is my rose gold, this is Angel Whisper, and this is Quill.